comes down to this. One more game to decide if KT Rolster can force a third day or if Jin Air is going to run away with it on the backs of an SOS reverse all kill.
Absolutely insane that it's gotten this far. Some big blunders from KT, some misplays, some really just underestimating what SOS is capable of. And now they're in a horrible place, most likely forced into another mirror match on Echo.
Yeah, and I don't think you want to send life here. He's just too inconsistent, too risky. You know, we've been seeing SOS with a different strategy every time. Sometimes some really cool ones, like a double warp prism timing into the back door. Like that was like a warp gate rush with a Colossus drop while a third base attack was there. Stats needs to hold it together, man.
Of course, it's got to be Stats here. Who are you going to put in that ace match when you only have one player left? This player decides whether or not KT is out or if they have a chance to make it onto the next round.
Well, let's see what Stats can do here. He's looking in good spirits despite their dire situation against this all-killing machine, SOS. He defeated Zest, who arguably is a lot better at PvP than Stats is. But Stats is certainly one of the best we do have in career, nonetheless.
Just can SOS keep up the ruse? Like, can he find another way as we go into our repeat map, Echo, to find a win, you know, with creative Warp Prism play, Blink Stalkers, maybe fast expanse DPs.
Echo's going to be an interesting one because I'm not sure if it has as many gimmicks as some of the other maps do. It's very straightforward. The third base is pretty easy to hold. Maybe we'll see an epic, very long PvP coming into this one.
Man, I hope so. It would really be just for such a great series so far, especially for SOS if he can destroy someone like Stats in a huge macro game.
Stats looks really confident, but SOS, he's gotten 3 wins so far. Is he going to take it all, or is Stats going to give him one more chance? Let's jump into Echo now. Up here in the top left, in the red, the Protoss player for KT Rolster, it is Stats.
And down here to the bottom right, in green for Jin Air Green Wings, it is SOS. He's been able to win with 3 different styles, 3 unique builds, game after game, has brought it to Game 7, the final match here. And it's only Stats who can now close it out for KT Rolster. I like the choice to send Stats out 7th instead of Zest. Another big SOS fan here with the SOS pin from Star League, in fact, forming the O in his name.
Nice.
If SOS wins this, KT Rolster is out for the season.
They're gone skis. They won last year. They won the entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're going to be out in the first round of those playoffs.
And it's
to SOS.
Yeah, it's such a strange way that they've gotten here as well. Like Flash and TY doing a lot of the pulling during the playoffs, but then SOS going 7-0, but can't seem to win both of his games when they need him to in the playoffs. It's weird. He'll do well for himself in some individual leagues as well. You know, at least make round of 8. And I think both SSL and GSL. And I don't know. It's a very strange KT Rolster that we're seeing this time around.
We're just seeing a lack of refinement, nerve issues, I feel, and we're seeing Jin Air come really prepared for these games. You know, it's almost the way SOS has played these last few maps. Only SOS could play, right? No, he did not go talk to the coach like, what if Flash gets a 3 kill? And the coach said, well, this is what you do. And you do this build, and then this build, and then this build.
Could be, man. It'd be like, you know what? I've thought about this a lot, SOS, and you're coming up here, and you're doing these 4 things that are going to bring us home.
I just think he's the only type of player who can come up with these types of builds and execute them well on the fly, and KT Rolster is struggling to adapt. KT Rolster is not about to lose to Jin Air's lineup. They're about to lose to SOS's flexibility in this all-kill format, which is why a lot of people dislike the all-kill format, because you can simply lose based off of one player. It almost happened to Flash, and now it may almost happen to SOS.
They're going to lose because of their overconfidence. They tried to end this game prematurely, this series. They didn't pick players for the maps as much as they should have. And now it's coming back to bite them, forced down to a PvP to close things out. You never want to be in this position.
SOS scouts the Chronode Warp Gate research. It is looking like it might be 3-gate aggression coming out from Stats. Let's see how SOS is going to respond. He sees the second Chrono as well. And this is already starting off badly for Stats.
Yeah, this probe is getting some huge scouting down here. It is going to be a Twilight Council to follow it up here as well. He's going to have that Mothership core out pretty quickly here. And I think he did go for his Zealot, or did he cancel that?
I think he canceled that.
Okay.
Yeah. We just see Stalker coming out now. So he's in a pretty good place. There's 2 extra gateways behind a Twilight. So it will be some early Blink Stalker. What's the answer going to be from SOS?
Looks like it's going to be his own 3-gate here.
Yeah, he's chronoing his own Warp Gate. He's going to just try to overwhelm with a better Stalker count.
Well, he's a little bit behind in everything, though, so it's kind of a scary situation for him to be in. He needs tech. He needs a Robo or a Twilight. Sitting on neither, going to put him behind when it gets to Blink being finished up.
I feel like if Stats commits to the attack, he'll be okay with even gates, but okay, he's going to add the Robo now. But especially if Stats just moves back and takes a Nexus after he sees that SOS has a defense up, that's when things get scary.
Well, look at this pylon on the map as well for SOS. This could do a lot of work later on. Got to be careful not to commit too early to that there. Here we go, a Stalker at top of the ramp, going to be scouting out this big warp in.
Yeah, going to force out a Photon Overcharge here. Getting that Mothership core early was very important. Does it have enough here? It does. He's going to wait as long as possible before he does go for it. Nice micro here on the Stalkers. There it goes.
Baiting him into extra overcharge fire. Oh, and there's a counter probe in the main base here, unscouted.
Oh, my God.
I can't even believe he shows it. But
yeah, I don't agree with showing it, that's for sure. That's going to give away a lot here.
Well,
Stats is really committing.
He's also going to get the full scout here on exactly what Stats is doing. And he's going to poke down the ramp here, try to get some damage done, but has to be very careful.
Just one Zealot can disrupt the main base and force warp-ins to be used at home, as well as stop the mining here.
Well, he's got to get out units at home as well, though, which is a scary thing. He's got to get out his Immortal. He's got to have defense ready for these Blink Stalkers. But here we go. 2 Zealots into the main base, forcing out warp-ins already.
Yeah, 2 Zealots that he did not want to make for sure.
Oh, no, in a terrible position. Plus, the probe took the shields away early as well.
Definitely a winning position right now for SOS. He does have the advantage in this PvP.
Blink is finished, but it doesn't matter if
There's
he
an
has to
Immortal
use him
out.
at home.
There's an Immortal out, and he does have a Force Field here if he does want to go for it.
Oh. Hey, Blink's forward, though. Where's the Immortal? It's not here. He targets out the Mothership core, so the follow-up is weaker. He will have to blink on this Immortal if he wants to win this, but he decides to retreat instead, fighting with the Stalkers.
I don't know about this one. More and more Zealots going into the main base for Stats as well. Look at this trading out. He's going to lose his Immortal at the bottom of the ramp. I don't know about this one.
Yeah, SOS going very aggressive here, but he's actually in not a bad position. 2 more orphans here, and he's getting so much damage done to these probes.
He knows he's killing so many probes in the main base.
He's actually going to get an all kill. This is absolutely insane.
It's going to happen. This game is essentially over. What is SOS, or rather, what is Stats going to do against SOS at this point? He's got Immortals out. He's killing probes in the middle line still. He's 8 workers down.
Look at this. He doesn't have enough money to warp in enough units, and Blink is not going to matter. There's just too many Stalkers.
This happened. This is happening. SOS is getting a reverse all kill here versus KD Rolls, so the pylon will be cleared. There's not enough Stalkers to compete, even with Blink Micro.
Even with Blink Micro, he's got a Robo behind this. Immortals are going to be coming out here. He's going to micro his heart out. He's going to try his best.
He's got to be careful. He cannot be overcommitting to Blink Stalkers, but at the same time, Stats in such a desperate place right now. All he's doing is warping in Stalkers while he tries to build his probe count back.
He doesn't have a Nexus. He doesn't have enough money for a Nexus. Like you say, all he's doing is warping in Stalkers. And he's going to try to hope for a bad position, a bad control from SOS.
SOS needs to make a big mistake for Stats to win this one. Loses a Stalker, Immortal stays alive.
Just can't overcommit here. He can't get too nervous. He's in a great place, but all he has to do is wait for another Immortal, make a Nexus, be in a great place.
Yeah, and he's got another forward pylon if he does want to go aggressive as well. Is going to be the Nexus.
Same timing for the Nexus, but...
And that's a problem for Stats.
Stats is in a big trouble because he's stuck on Blink Stalker tech forever, for a very long time while these Immortals come out here.
Yeah. His best hope for victory is to play for the late game, try to win small engages like this, and hope that it goes to a long enough game to where both players have Colossi and he can just win better fights in the late game. But SOS moving out pretty far here, in fact, to try to push these Stalkers off the map.
I think he's looking for pylons here. He's going to push them back, make sure they cannot harass anymore, and probably try and make his way around, look for that pylon so he doesn't have to worry about counterattacks.
Being so careful about this as well. Sending the Oracle around, maybe do a little bit of scouting for the pylon, but also make sure it doesn't get scouted out here by the Blink Stalkers so that he can assure to himself that he does get that scout.
Ooh. Never going to find a kill there.
A lot of damage. Still that pylon being undetected so far.
Just to put this into perspective, it takes 10 Blink Stalker shots to take out the shields of an Immortal. 10 shots. And in that amount of time, you have anything with those Immortals, they are just going to wipe the Stalkers.
He's moving forward. I don't think he's going to be too aggressive. He's just scouting out, applying the pressure here at the front.
Yeah. The last thing he wants to do is go up the ramp and get half his stuff force fielded here without Blink.
Yeah,
that's what Stats is hoping for.
He's going to wait for his Mothership core to get across the map so he can recall if needed.
I love this. He's ahead. Get further ahead. Take a third base. It's so easy to defend on this map. He's got the much better army. And he's just going to, go straight into this macro game very far ahead of Stats.
It works really well, too, because he's out in the middle of the map with his army, so he can see that he just doesn't have enough Stalkers to pressure. He's checking with Oracles constantly with Hallucination Scouts to find if there's any harassment. And with nothing here, he knows his third base is not going to be attacked anytime soon.
And it got scattered out as well by this hallucinated Phoenix. So Stats knows what's going on right now. He knows where he's at, how far behind he is in terms of economy or soon to be. Got to think of something soon.
Yeah, but knowing is only half the battle. Like you said, he needs to find an answer. He is getting faster like +1.
Yeah, he's got that +1, and also the War Prism seems like it may be an answer. We've seen War Prisms do insane damage throughout the entire 2 days. Even down to the War Prism from Trap doing damage against Flash. The War Prisms from SOS in that last game against Zest. The War Prisms with DTs and Zealots for SOS versus TY. These players have been playing scared, a little bit nervous at times, and maybe SOS with the lead won't think about the War Prism.
Yeah, certainly so. Well, he's good at making a War Prism of his own as well. And he's certainly out of position to deal with this War Prism if it was to start being aggressive. He does have that Mothership core for recall.
And we saw a small Observer snipe there as well, SOS taking control of the vision. We'll see this third base.
He could cancel the third base of Stats as well in terms of army. He's like so far ahead, composition and size-wise.
I think this is actually going to force a recall. He's going to have 3 Zealots in here, and SOS just warped in. And there we go, immediate recall. Just going to deny as much damage as possible.
It's little things like this that Stats will have to repeatedly do over the course of the next 20 minutes in order to come back in this game. But it is possible.
It is possible. We do have those 4 Zealots in the War Prism for SOS as well.
And the Stalkers are going out to the middle of the map.
Oh, man, this could do some big damage.
Well, he's going to see, an empty mineral line here. Nexus Cannon being used. Just going to come back for a drop later. We already saw him do quite well versus Zest with this kind of 4 Zealot drop. Stalker's not going to find anything here, I'm afraid.
Nope. Still decent lead in economy for SOS, but Stats is coming back. He did kind of answer to that third base with the third base of his own, and it was left untouched. Despite the army advantage for SOS, he wasn't confident enough to go there and try and cancel the Nexus.
Kind of a funny spot that we're in now. This happens a lot in PvP. We thought that, SOS, and we still think he is still very far ahead in terms of that early game, but at the same time, he was never really able to kill Stats just because of the nature of this current matchup. So he had to go very defensive, and we are going to see a bit of a later game here between these two players, kind of what we expected as well.
It's incredible, though. This is not a coincidence. This is not just PvP that allows this to happen, right? Because SOS could have potentially killed that third base, forced to cancel his move that I was mentioning before, but the harassment, the pressure, has kept him alive, has actually kept him in this game. Most other players would have died, would have not been able to hold on, and would have actually been overwhelmed by now. It is, like you said, the nature of the matchup, but it's not just that. Stats has really been doing some harassment, has been keeping himself in this game, and has actually kind of put us into a place where it's actually totally feasible to imagine that he could win this game if he takes a good late-game fight with good composition.
A good fight. I completely agree with you there. It's all about taking the next fight, where the armies are, It's going to be, looks like SOS is planning to be the aggressive one. He's sitting outside the front there in a big warp in. So he is looking for it. It's going to be a hard fight, though, with this huge spread from Stats.
Exactly. This can be so dangerous on this map. Looks like he's going to poke at the destructible tower there.
Oh, man, the Colossus not coming to the party either. I think the best thing for him to do here is just take a good fight with a time warp and then back off. Really committing to this. Might be a bit overzealous.
He's going to finish charge here, and he's got a lot of Zealots, but you can't be losing a Colossus here.
Big amount of Archons. Going to be warped in here, 3 of them, which is going to give him the edge in dealing with Zealots, that's for sure.
He realizes Colossus. Okay, he's got it in this fight.
Oh, he definitely doesn't want to wait for it at this point, though. +2 is done for Stats. It's almost done for SOS. It's very close.
He may want to wait for that +2.
Oh! Yeah. He's trying to get rid of that Templar to stop the feedback on that Mothership core.
Oh, man. I just think everything in everyone's mind and body points towards do not attack this SOS. Just do not do it. He's got a spread. He's got the high ground.
Yeah, it's such a hard choice. He's got to wait for that Colossus. He finally has it in a big whoop in once again. He does have the supply lead as well.
All right, he's considering it. He does not want to waste a charge for any reason.
He's going to come from 2 angles, it looks like.
Oh, it might be changing his mind now.
Oh, the feedback on the Mothership core, and he's going to go for it nonetheless. There goes the time warp on the right side, but he does have 2 angles of attack here.
And he's got better units. They're coming in here. He's got the mix around now.
The Warp Prism as well coming in from behind. Hallucinated Archons trying to stop him here.
I don't think it's going to be enough. SOS doing huge amounts of damage. Only Colossi left over.
It looks like he's dead. He has reversed all-killed KT Roaster. He's knocked out the defending champions from this tournament. And that is going to be it. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. The reverse all-kill Stats has lost.
What are we watching? How is he able to pull this off? Unbelievable play from SOS.
That's it. I don't even know what to say anymore. He's
GG, that's what you gotta say. SOS, $, heart, $. We'll bring it back, and Jinair is going to 2-0 KT in this week, and we'll move on to face CJ Enthus.
Never would have expected an all-kill from SOS, but he played like a god today, taking down all the best here in StarCraft and in KT.
And it's not about what he did in each individual game specifically. It's not about his overall skill. It's not like he just simply outplayed each other's opponents. He's outthought them and then outplayed them. He got ahead, didn't mess up his advantages, just stayed 1 step ahead of his opponents in the mind game, then used his advantages to win in the later stages of the game. A very smart player, very confident today. And you know what? Never showed nerves, never showed fear.
Well,
when he was the last man standing 4 times in a row, it was the last chance for Jinair, and he never faltered.
The funny thing was that he showed it on his face. He showed that fear, the nervousness, but he never showed it for 1 second of any of those games.
Yeah. Just this will go down in Pro League history because this moment, no one would have expected it. No one would have predicted this.
Knocking them out like this was kind of unimaginable, I gotta say. We all looked at this after the day 1. We're like, okay, KT's gonna really bring it back in day 2 and probably try and take it out in day 3, but it wasn't the case at all. It looked like it, going into today, the first 3 matches were in favor of KT with Flash taking apart everyone, important, who we thought at least, but then SOS coming out here and all killing like this is so unexpected, and it speaks volumes about KT as well. What went wrong? What went wrong with these guys? Did they not practice before this week?
Yeah, there's a lot that we can talk about that went wrong. We were almost giving them advice from the casting booth. Okay, we're like, don't send out TY on Cactus Valley. Don't do it. He comes out. SOS takes him down. Des comes out next in this PvP matchup, makes Stats into that last game. He's not normally the ace match player, and he goes down as well.
I can't be critical of the order of the players for the maps, personally. I have to be critical of the players' performances that we saw from KT Rolster, not only today, but yesterday as well. Both teams looked shaky yesterday. Going into today's matches, though, KT Rolster survived off the back of Flash's all-kill. Had he not gotten that all-kill, who knows how bad things could have gone. Yeah. I just really, really do not feel like anyone knew how to handle SOS's different and unique styles, and they could not think fast enough on their feet. SOS all-killing KT Rolster. SOS a player who is mostly used in this league as a sniper player who takes 1 win if he's lucky 2. He all-kills your team. I guess we're not going to postseason round 2.
No. I'm really curious to see how Gina is going to be doing against CJ next week as well. If they're going to bring this